Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, welcome in. Thanks so much for being with us on the Frangie Show. Frank on vacation. He'll be back on Monday. Ryan O'Halloran, the columnist of the Florida Times-Union, is joining us today, as he has been all week. And JJ LaSelva is here. I am Hayes Carline. My God, the weather today, gorgeous. I mean, this isn't Buffalo, but are you enjoying it?
As Mike Shanahan would say in Washington, kudos to who ordered the weather.
Absolutely.
But it's been a couple great days. Man, I was up early for a couple things. It was like 58, but then next thing you know, it's 75. So this is what we signed up for.
That's right. That's right. We got a great show coming up for you. Pete Prisco will join us at 5:15 to talk Jaguars and the NFL. We'll do our picks as well, the Ricketts picks. We'll look forward to that. The rules are pretty simple. If Ryan will take Frank's spot, and if he does well, those games will not count.
Gators.
And if your picks do, flop, then they will count on Frank's record. That sounds fair, doesn't it, JJ? Sounds totally fair, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that'll be a lot of fun. We'll do that at 4:30. And but to start things off, last night's game, Chargers 37, Vikings 10. The LA Chargers ran 70 plays to 47 for the Vikings. LA was 9 of 13 on third down. Just what I thought would be a pretty competitive game. Just an absolute gutting by the Chargers against the Vikings, who just look putrid.
Yeah, it was a real snoozer, and the Vikings had that pick six called back early in the game.
Tough call.
I didn't see enough, but I'm not an official. Chargers, to their credit, take advantage of it, score, force a punt, score, over. The Vikings, I think, are headed toward the type of season that they were prepared to have last year when they drafted McCarthy, and we're going to go with McCarthy. Now you might as well go back to him, except is he going to be able to protect himself because the line stinks? And it goes back to what we talked to earlier this week or even yesterday. The amount of bad offensive line play in this league is shocking.
What do you attribute that to? Because the schemes are now fairly similar. It made sense 15 years ago. I remember when Tebow went to like the Senior Bowl and he had never taken a snap from center. And the buzz in Mobile was, oh my God, every snap's been in a shotgun. Well, you never hear that storyline now. I mean, the NFL game has gone as much to that as anything, but it seems like offensive lineman is just, I mean, obviously there's not that many big people available anyway.
Yeah.
But it was never as big of an issue as it has become.
Yeah, that may be a story to pursue.
Yeah.
That means I'm going to have to call people and transcribe
But you
tape.
like that.
I do. To me, I'll flip it over. I think the edge rushers are better.
Yeah.
They're
more specialized.
more athletic. They run more stuff. But offensive linemen, you shouldn't see free runners. So, okay, are they having trouble seeing the picture a little bit on who to pass off? Are quarterbacks holding it too long? It's something that is...
And sometimes they just get blown up.
Yeah.
Minnesota had a left guard last night that ended up almost taking Wentz's knees out. He got knocked. I mean, it was like one of these Luke Jokel cartwheel knockbacks. And so sometimes they just get mauled. And I'm not picking on this guy. The Eagles, it's the same thing. People are like, what's happened to Saquon Barkley? Well, what's happened to Saquon Barkley is when he gets the football, he's getting met immediately.
Yeah.
Because the Eagles have sustained offensive line injuries that they just cannot they can't keep doing what they're doing. I mean, the drop off is too steep.
Yeah, I think the Vikings without both tackles last night, and
Right.
it showed. Wentz is not good.
No.
But yeah, the Vikings are going to be in for a rough year because their defense isn't as stingy as last year. Flores looks like he knows that, and the Chargers. I mean, we thought. Not 27-point victory. We thought they'd flex their muscles a little bit because that was a bad loss to the Colts.
Right.
You don't want to lose 2 home games in 5 nights.
Yeah.
And so they responded. Herbert, I thought, was excellent. And one thing I tweeted out was the times he scrambled is sort of what Liam Cohen wants Trevor Lawrence to start doing. Make your reads, but if the lane is there against man coverage, take it. Run straight up the field. Get easy yards. You'll slide. You'll protect yourself. So that kept the Chargers on schedule. And the other thing that stood out is this Vidal, the rookie running back, 6th-round pick. It just shows you again. You can find them in day 3.
Right.
You shouldn't. Well, you shouldn't draft them in the first round,
Right.
and you shouldn't consider giving them second contracts.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. The Herbert point is a really good one. He had 62 yards, and it was all improv. None of that was designed. He just saw an opening and took off. And yeah, I mean, when you watch Herbert run, he's got a little bit more, I'd say, like girth on his frame than Trevor Lawrence, but they're very similar in terms of, their frame, their height and length. I mean, absolutely take off. I mean, Herbert got the 62 yards really without any kind of effort at all.
Yeah, and there was one.
I don't think he broke a tackle or made a guy miss.
Yeah, there was one play in particular. They were going right to left on the TV. He rolls right. He had a tight end in the flat that he could have just dumped it off, but he made the decision, okay, I'm probably going to be able to get those yards myself, and just ran it. And I think he ran out of bounds or slid or whatever. So, and the similarities between Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert are they're both quarterbacks. So it may not look as good, but they should explore it.
Yeah, and I thought Herbert was outstanding too, particularly like early on because it was clear the Vikings were going to be able to get to him, and he elevated his play.
Yeah.
Like his first, he, on the what could have been the pick six that was overturned, he got pressured. I want to say on his next drop back, he got pressure again immediately. But he didn't fold. I mean, he just went right down, 95 yards, touchdown, and ended up having a great night. So they did have Joe Alt back, which helped. He's laboring through an ankle, but was able to man the left tackle spot. Another story from the league today that I want to get to before we move on to college football in our next segment. The Jackson Dart concussion fiasco has reached its litigation in terms of how the league is going to view it. So the league fines the franchise, the Giants, $200,000 for head coach Brian Daboll and running back Cam Scatterboot poking their head into the tent, trying to kind of speed up the process of getting Dart cleared from the concussion. But it didn't stop there. Daboll got $100,000. Scatterboot got $15,000.
Yeah.
Do you think this is a strong enough message? I've never seen it happen anyway, so I'm not sure it was going to happen again.
Yeah.
But this pretty much, I would assume, eliminates any chance of it happening again.
The Daboll fine sends a message that you cannot. Don't do it. Don't stick your head in there. Because what the investigation probably showed is that he stuck his head in there and says, "Get him
Hurry
back
up."
out there.
Right.
He's fine.
We need him.
Yeah, and Giants getting $200K, that's a rounding error. But they felt that you have to find the team who hired these people, and so I think it does send a good message because, like you, I had not seen it before, and also it was, Daboll's behavior on the sideline to the either Giants doctor or I think it was a Giants doctor, is like, dude, you got enough problems. Focus on the field. Control your temper. Don't be an idiot.
Yeah, without a doubt. And be interesting to see. And I don't know if they'll appeal these things or not, but they're going to lose. I mean, so they're going to have to pay this money.
Take your medicine.
Take your medicine and move on, without a doubt. When we come back on the Frangie Show, we're going to switch gears. We're going to talk a lot about college football today and where it's headed as the sport starts to mirror even more the NFL model. We're going to go into some layers with this. Are coaching brands, logos still a thing? That I don't know that it will matter in this carousel. Ole Miss versus Florida, I still think there's a distinct, I think there's a distinct difference between the programs. And I'm not just saying that as a Florida fan. I mean, I think if it was Ole Miss LSU, there's a distinct difference. But in the NFL, we don't really have that anymore. So are we going to head to that with college? Also want to get into the general manager role in college football as it expands, as it becomes more prevalent. How is that going to work? So we're going to spend quite a lot of time getting into this and the kind of the business of college football and where these organizations might be headed in the next 5-10 years when it comes to the carousel and how these clubs are run. You're listening to The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Saturday and Sunday, we watch the games.
We're all on the same page then.
We spend Monday talking about what we saw. Sink your teeth into Dandy Foods Post-Game Monday. Makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff on 1010XL.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists returns with their free bumps and bruises evaluation clinics this season. Now with 4 locations, these free injury assessments are open to all schools and athletic programs. Saturday mornings through October from 9 to 10 at Cortex Sports Performance in Ponte Vedra, Preferred PT in Fleming Island, and Brooks Rehab on Centurion Parkway and World Golf Village.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Business owners, are you tired of getting the runaround from your plumbing or AC vendors? Fire them now and call Duck Duck Rooter. Duck Duck Rooter is the trusted partner for some of the largest commercial companies in Northeast Florida. From a professional accounting office that makes contracts and invoicing seamless to highly skilled field technicians who fix the problems fast, they handle it all. Make the smart move today with Duck Duck Rooter. Call 904-862-6769. 904-862-6769. Duck Duck Rooter, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This is Hayes Carline from my friend Holt at Harrell & Harrell. There doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. Then you get injured in an accident and you don't know what you're going to do. Let Harrell & Harrell make it easy for you. Easy on becoming a client. You can just text or email if you want. Easy on finding a doctor and getting through the process. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harrell & Harrell and make it easy on yourself. Call them at 904-251-1111. That's 251-1111.
The Friday night lights are shining even brighter as 1010XL has partnered with Channel 4 to bring you Friday Night Lights, a live streaming show at 7 o'clock every Friday, presented by Farrah and Farrah on the social media channels of 1010XL and Channel 4.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. Upper Deck Series 1 hockey hit shelves last week. The big chases will be the Young Guns. Rookie cards of 50 hockey first-year players. We're proud partners of the Jacksonville Icemen. Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. Update your collection.
Frank Frangie here for my friend and insurance agent Craig Dewhurst. Craig has been helping families on the First Coast with their insurance needs for 25 years as your good neighbor and local State Farm agent. Now's a great time to review your insurance policies, whether you need auto, homeowners, or renter's insurance, or insurance for your golf cart, boat, or jet skis. Craig handles all of my family's insurance needs, and even better, he gives back to the community. Call Craig today at 904-940-9740. That's 904-940-9740.
Hey gang, Prosser here. When it comes time to sell your home, don't worry about any, quote, problems you think might be related, because I've got the perfect team that will keep you right on track. In fact, they've got a guarantee that you can't beat. And that is Chad and Sandy, the agents I would call to sell my home. You see why? Your home sold guaranteed or they will buy it. Need to sell now? Chad and Sandy have instant offers. Fast, easy, and stress-free. But the promise is this. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Jacksonville homes are selling, but many take months and a low price to sell. Getting top price means aggressive marketing. Chad and Sandy Newman are the Jacksonville experts who have proven systems to drive demand to sell your home. Darcy in San Jose said, I felt too isolated in my retirement. I wanted to buy in a different area, better suited for me. I spoke to several agents who didn't seem to care. I needed to find someone I could rely on. In come Chad and Sandy, and in 3 days, the home was sold. Call the Jacksonville experts we trust and recommend. Call Chad and Sandy today.
1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farrah.
It's a Big Chief Tire Friday on The Frangie Show. For all of your tires and automotive service needs, it's Big Chief Tire.
We certainly appreciate our friends at Big Chief Tire. That new one in Mandarin is fantastic, by the way. They did a great job with it. Ryan O'Halloran is here. JJ LaSelva is here. I am Hayes Carline. Frank Frangie on vacation. He will be back with us on Monday. Ryan, I'm going to ask you a question. Is there a difference between the New York Giants job and the Carolina Panthers job?
I I would say right now, yes, just because I like dark better than young. But after that, I think you're splitting hairs.
But even beyond that, like forgetting personnel on solely the brand, is there a difference between the 49ers and the Jacksonville
Jaguars?
Sure.
I mean, I think there is a difference in terms of the brand, but I think if we were going on this would be my thing is if I'm a head coaching candidate, I can't worry about that. If the this past season, the Jaguar job was better than the Jet job, even though it's in New York.
Right.
And, if you have success in New York, well, it doesn't matter. It's the NFL. Everybody gets the same share of the pie. So I think that's there is in college.
Yeah, and that's the thing. JJ, can you ever remember a coach or in the NFL a carousel where a coach said something to the effect of, well, I had both jobs, but I really wanted to be a Cowboy?
Not off the top of my. I mean, the Cowboys is different though.
It is.
I would put the Cowboys in a totally different category.
I'll bring up Ben Johnson. I mean, Chicago's a big market, but he didn't even interview in person. He told his agent, "I want the Bear job."
Right.
But
So you think it exists, but on kind of a micro level?
Very, very micro.
Okay,
yeah.
I would agree. I would say normally in the NFL, if a candidate has a multitude of options, they're looking at the quarterback, the rest of the roster, the cap. Does the owner spend? Do I, the GM? Do I get to bring in my guy, or am I saddled with a guy that's already there? You don't often see it where it's, well, I'm going to choose the Cowboys over the Arizona Cardinals because Dallas is America's team. That doesn't really factor in. And kind of where I'm going with this is that absolutely exists in college football. Absolutely. I mean, that's the basis of college football from a coaching standpoint is you try and do what like Eli Drinkwitz has done. You go from App State to Missouri to maybe Florida. Because there is a massive difference there in terms of, and even obviously like resources there are, but even Missouri and Florida are in the same conference. They're getting the same revenue split, but there is a difference in those jobs. But as we get down the road, I don't know whether it's 3 years, 10 years, do you think that as college football becomes more of the NFL model, and you're paying these players, right now it's $20.5 million, does that start to fade? And will we start to see any of that in this cycle, do you think?
I don't think you're going to see that in this cycle because I think there's still a lot of unknowns about the $20.5 million. I do think the interested coach will still see Florida as, hey, that's a place I can recruit high school players to. That's a place where if I need 3 starters in the portal, I'll be able to go get them because I got the brand. And, and one thing you said earlier in the week is, are we making this job bigger? Are we making this job better than people on the outside? I don't think we are because you watch a game at the Swamp, you see 3 championship years on there. Not a lot of schools have that. Not a lot of schools have 1. So I do think there is, you see the Heisman, you see the trophies out front. So the statues, excuse me. So I do think there is an appeal there. Florida State's another story, but sticking to the Gators, if I'm Drinkwitz, Missouri, you're ranked in the top 15 right now. That's the ceiling. Unless things really fall right. I think at Florida, he would look at this job, and I think Lane Kiffin would look at this job as, hey, the ceiling is higher in Gainesville than in Oxford and Columbia.
I would agree with you. I still think it matters, but I am interested in seeing what this carousel reveals about it, if it's changing at all. Mm-hmm. If Lane Kiffin stays at Ole Miss, and I don't believe he is going to, but if Lane Kiffin stays at Ole Miss, that's a gigantic story. That would have never happened 5 or 10 years ago.
Yeah.
If Eli Drinkwitz stays at Missouri, we've already seen it with Cignetti.
I was just going to say that.
That's the thing. I mean, Cignetti has already kind of introduced this a little bit because it would have been unheard of to stay at Indiana. Let's just assume Penn State, that was the apple of their eye when they fired James Franklin rather abruptly. you have to assume they had somebody in mind. And I'm sorry, I just don't think that person is Matt Rule. I think they're probably going to hire Matt Rule now because, my guess is they were like, there's this guy at Indiana that is doing things with a program that is 200 games under 500 lifetime and is now whatever he is, like 19-2 there over these last 2 years. I'm sure that was the move. Let's ditch Franklin. Let's bring in Cignetti. And then he signs an 8-year extension with them.
To me, that was negligent on Penn State. I'll go a couple ways on this one. One is they did not bother to call Cignetti's agent. I think Cignetti's situation is a little bit different because he is a lot older.
Right.
So he may see, hey, sort of paying it forward on Indiana. They gave me a shot at my age for a first Power 4 job. Penn State should have maybe known that. Or the other part is, which I think is true, they just want to get rid of James Franklin.
And that could be too.
And
they just
they're done.
finally had a legitimate reason to can Franklin.
And I'm not a James Franklin supporter, but if you hire Matt Rule to replace James Franklin, I don't think you got any better. I think you got worse.
Yeah.
So if I'm the Penn State brass, I would not be interested in Rule. I would really back up the truck for Freeman just to see. But also, there's no reason why you can't go to the West Coast and get a guy. Because recruiting, like the recruiting territory, experience recruiting this area, that doesn't matter anymore, I don't think.
I don't think it matters as much either now with the way technology is. I mean, you can pick up your phone and see your mom and dad from across the country and FaceTime with them. And obviously we have Zoom and things like that. So, yeah, you love to be in the same room with your family and be able to, embrace them. But it's not like it was in the 1980s. Where if you were a Florida kid and decided to go to attend USC, you were basically not going to see, you talk to them on the phone, but that was going to be about the extent of it. So, I agree that recruiting is gotten more national and that it's easier. And I asked this question not saying that I think this is where we're headed anytime soon, but I do think the more that the NFL world infiltrates the college world and the more that college football, because of its now obvious professional element, mirrors the NFL world, I do wonder if you will get to a time where the brands aren't as lopsided maybe as they have been.
Yeah, I think Florida State's got a brand problem if they decide to move on from Norvell because they made a horrible hire with Taggart. And so that set them back after, and then they go Norvell, who struck lightning 2 years ago, and now they're back to being, bad. So that I don't know how. I mean, somebody will take that job because it's Florida State, but I'm not sure it's going to be, hey, one phone call, you get a player. You're going to have to really work on these guys because if you're a recruit, in your whole time in high school and elementary school, Florida State has stunk except for 1 year.
That's what I would say this about Florida State. I actually think the brand is their greatest asset because of the strength of the tradition. And, I mean, again, they have been, the recruits may not have seen a lot of success, but their parents absolutely have. And I do think that means something. So I think Florida State, its most attractive element, if that job comes open, is that it's Florida State. I mean, that's one of those logos that when you walk into a high school, anybody is gonna talk to you and listen to you. I think everything else is absolutely up for debate in terms of how strong it is, in terms of the financial picture, the leadership, the state of the roster. I mean, that's the other part of this is, and we talked about it with the NFL. Why is Jim Harbaugh? Why did he leave a national title winner at Michigan? Why did he choose the Chargers? Well, he chose the Chargers not because of Dean Spanos. Not because it's in California. He chose him because he had Justin Herbert. Yeah. He was walking into Justin Herbert as he enters the peak of his career. Yeah. And so I think, again, in surveying it, and again, we're going to, obviously, Florida and Florida State are going to be where we direct a lot of this. Florida has talent. Like, Florida, if the new head coach, and they've got to wait 5 days to talk to you before they can enter the portal. So you got 5 days, and any head coach is going to feel like, in 5 days, I can sell a kid on staying, particularly a kid that I can pay as well. And so I think you look at that, Florida can win, I think, in year one, depending on the retention. But if they can retain their core players, then they have, I think, an excellent chance to be, a 9-win club in the first year with the right coach. Yeah. The problem at Florida State, I think you even talked about this on XL Primetime earlier today. The situation at Florida State is drastically different. I mean, you basically don't have any high school talent that you can develop. I mean, pretty much it's going to be 40 seniors leave, and you've got to go find 40 other kids that now want to come in and play their last year for you. That's what I think maybe carries the most weight in terms of looking at what head coaches that have leverage to stay where they're at versus taking a job that might be a little bit bigger. I mean, I would think, to be honest, it would be easier for Lane Kiffin to win next year at Florida than it would be at Ole Miss, just because Florida has more talent in their freshman, sophomore, junior class.
Yeah, they have more talent who aren't eligible to enter the draft after a coaching change. If I'm Florida State, I would make the move because you have to pivot your philosophy. So don't wait another year. You've lost 2 years already, and so that would be my suggestion there. One thing on Penn State, if not Rule, then who? I don't know.
I mean, I've heard like Brian Kelly might be in the mix because he's from the area.
Divorce of convenience.
Yeah, but if you're Penn State, I mean, I don't think that is.
Speaking of brand.
Yeah.
His brand has gone down.
Yeah. So, I mean, it could definitely get interesting. I mean, look, Florida's in the same boat. If we find out in 30 minutes that Lane Kiffin just signed a 10-year extension with Ole Miss, then there's going to be a meltdown. Yeah. And I'm going to be leading that meltdown.
I've always wanted to host my own radio show.
But so I mean, that's what I think is really interesting, because I think if you're making the move now, we'll see about Penn State. Their thing was I think pretty abrupt. Florida knew this could happen, but if you're Florida, I mean, you better get your guy. I mean, because it can fall apart quick, and I do think it's smart to go take advantage of the fact that the brand of being Florida may not be that strong 5 years from now. It may not even be that strong a year from now. Again, as revenue sharing becomes more of a thing, and schools, look, I mean, any school that isn't having success, they're going to go to their boosters, and every school has them that are competing in a power conference, and they're going to say, look at Indiana, look at Texas Tech, look at Vanderbilt. History does not matter anymore. If you give us $5 million, we will go assemble a roster that you can be proud of.
Yeah, and that would be if I'm the new UF coach, that would be my message, is say, hey, the Gators have a lot of talent that I'm inheriting. We need reinforcements. Hey, this is not going to be an every year thing where I need you to really pay up, but you got to do what Texas Tech did, and say, hey, I need this, I need this, I need to be very specific. This is how much it's going to cost. And that'll get Florida back on the right track. Not going to make a living out of that, but for this first year, that's what you need.
It'll be really fascinating. We're going to introduce another curveball to this whole thing, which is the role of the general manager in college football. It appears like it could be expanding. Could we see that become commonplace in how the NFL operates, where in some instances the GM has more power than the head coach? You're listening to The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Game days aren't the only win happening in the 904. Best of Bolt City named 904 Gutters with a Z the #1 seamless gutter company in Duval. Like the team's O-line protects their QB. Call the winning team at 904 Gutters with a Z to protect your home from the rain.
Hayes Carline here to let you know about my new tailgate obsession, Daisy French Onion Dip. If you love eating dips with chips, wings, and veggies while watching football, you will love the new Daisy French Onion Dip and Daisy Ranch Dip. These are game changers, as delicious as a homemade dip made with real herbs and spices and other ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. You've got to try them. Once you do, you'll be hooked. Look for Daisy French Onion Dip at your grocery store.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey folks, it's Frank Frangie for Lee and Kate's Glass. They say you're going to see a big difference, but what does that really mean? It means a live local person on the phone, a smooth, easy process, skilled craftsmen, and excellent customer service all around, with your satisfaction absolutely guaranteed. Visit LeeandKatesGlass.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Getting you ready for the game. Pre-game Friday. Built by Dream Finders Homes on 1010XL.
Greenlaw Group is for the insured. If you think you have roof damage, call 904-302-7055 today, and they will schedule you a free roof inspection. Trust their law firm to help you fight your insurance when you need it. These storms can cause damage you may not even see yet. Call Greenlaw Group 302-7055. There's no cost to retain their law firm and no cost to have your roof inspected. They only get paid if you win. Greenlaw Group, for the insured.
Welcome to the Bundle event. Entering now our undisputed tag team champions, the mid-size SUV and the mid-century modern. Together with a State Farm agent, this auto and home duo are a powerful force of savings, service, and customizable coverage. Now, let's get ready to bundle.
Call State Farm agent Gene Coleman in Jacksonville at 904-764-4139.
Availability and amount of discounts and savings vary by state.
Duval. Yes, you heard that right. We love being in Duval County, and we love this city. So during football season, it's absolutely Luval around here. Hey, it's Don from Tagaloo, and yes, it is that time of year again. I know everyone's working hard all week getting ready for game day. Tagaloo is ready for you. If it's pregame, if it's postgame, during the game. No matter what your game is, enjoy it with us at Tagaloo in Jacksonville Beach.
Duval.
The experts at AMCO have been fixing cars for almost 60 years. Over that time, they've gotten more complex than ever. That's why our techs undergo rigorous training and certifications, so they can fix anything, including the most complicated repairs that come with some of the latest technologies. After 60 years, there's nothing we haven't seen or fixed. It's how we know cars inside and out.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your National Builder of the Year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% in homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
Budweiser reminds us to drink wiser, like hydrating between beers. It keeps the fun going longer, and it's a commitment to responsibility. Remember, good times are ahead, so no need to overdo it. Know when to say when, and always designate a driver.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
It's a Big Chief Tire Friday on The Frangie Show. For all of your tires and automotive service needs, it's Big Chief Tire.
Welcome back to The Frangie Show. Frank on vacation. He'll be back on Monday, but Ryan O'Halloran is here. JJ LaSelva is here. I am Hayes Carlyon. I want to talk about the general manager as it relates to college football. For up until now, again, the position didn't exist until just about 2 years ago. And even some schools have one, some schools don't. None of the GMs in college football appear to have really any power. It's almost more of the head coach needs somebody to kind of scour the portal. And, you know, when players enter the portal, hey, watch the film, give us an evaluation. It doesn't seem like the GM does much in terms of high school evaluation. It still seems like the head coach is leaving that up to his staff and things like that and making the determination of whether an offer should be made. But again, is college football becomes more of the NFL, as it basically becomes a light version of the NFL. I expect to see the general manager have an elevated role, but it's going to be fascinating to see how that takes place. And again, you look at the jobs that are open now. If you're Florida Athletic Director Scott Strickland, does it make sense you've got basically 6 weeks to fill, because it took us all of about 30 seconds to come up with a coaching list.
Yeah.
So, and he's got a search firm. So, which is a joke.
Our recommendation is Lane Kiffin.
Right. Here's our bill for $150,000. But I think if you're any athletic director and you're going through, your job is open, does it make sense to kind of vet through that and kind of rethink an organizational chart at all? Or in college football, does it need to be the head coach is the ultimate boss? And if you do have a GM, it is purely a lieutenant to take some pressure off the head coach from a college evaluation standpoint.
If I'm Scott Strickland right now, I'm operating on 2 paths. The first path is I want Lane Kiffin, and Lane Kiffin wants Florida, and he's going to run the show. If that does not happen, I have to be prepared for the second path, which, hey, if there's a program that needs to think outside the box, it's the University of Florida. What we haven't seen in college football is the front-facing GM who hires the head coach.
Right. There's no Howie Roseman in college football.
Yeah, and so to me it's going to take one team to be really bold, one athletic director with a comfortable contract, wink, wink, nod, nod,
Scott
Gainesville.
Strickland has that.
And so the closest, the Jim Nagy thing in Oklahoma is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Brent Venables was the sitting coach, but they describe him as he leads OU's roster management and talent acquisition, including player recruitment and compensation. Emphasis on that last word.
Right.
That's what the GM job is going to become. I think they're going to be able to put a price point on these players after they evaluate their talent. And to me, if I'm the head coach, I would be fine with that. The issue is when times get tough, who wins, the GM or the head coach? So far, in every situation we've seen so far, it's going to be the head coach. What I think would hurt a personnel guy from becoming the boss, it's the Mike Lombardi thing's a total disgrace. You're getting $1.5 million. He's a running joke.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be around much longer because Belichick ran him out of New England once because they had a mutiny. Pablo Torre had that today. Pablo Torre's vendetta for Michael Lombardi is just freaking hysterical. But anyways, the guy wrote a book. He called it Gridiron Genius.
Wow.
So, anyways, I got on a Mike Lombardi tangent there. But I guess the bottom line from my perspective is if Lane Kiffin to Florida doesn't happen, Scott Strickland should be exploring every avenue to get this football program going so he can take more of a CEO of the athletic program role.
Maybe Mike Lombardi is a football genius. He's, one game up on Florida State in the ACC standings.
Allegedly, and this is not a joke, allegedly he was in Saudi trying to raise funds for the football program this summer.
Yeah.
What is happening?
This is American football.
Where is
not
Greg
soccer.
Norman?
Phil Mickelson will coin toss it.
But I do think it's interesting to see, and you're right, Lombardi in North Carolina is they're lost in the wilderness with what they've decided to do with Belichick. But I think what's interesting about it from a Florida perspective, and Scott Strickland is very aware of this, and as you mentioned, he's got he just got an extension, so he knows that he's safe. What's interesting about it to me is Florida has been behind on everything over the last 20 years. Yeah. They didn't want to. They didn't think you had to invest in facilities. They thought that was silly. Then they got just boat raced in recruiting by the schools that were doing it. Clemson did it, started pulling 5-star kids out of Florida. Alabama did it, started pulling 5-star kids out of Florida and never stopped. So Florida finally relented and built a facility and upgraded their facility, had an indoor. They didn't have think about that. The University of Florida did not have an indoor practice field until 8 years ago? Stunning. But they were stubborn, and they said, we're Florida, and when it would rain, Spurrier took them into the parking garage, and they practiced there, and they won SEC and national titles. All right, well, times changed, and Florida finally got with the program, built the indoor practice facility, built the standalone football building. Their first incarnation of NIL was a complete disaster. I don't even remember what it was called. Now it's called Florida Victorious, but there was some entity that they had initially that like disintegrated into the ground. It was so mismanaged. The point is Florida has been behind on everything. Even with the X's and O's. Jeremy Foley hires Jim McElwain because, he was Saban's offensive coordinator, right at the time that Saban sees where the world is going and says, no, we need to play in space. We need to be in spread. I'm going to hire Lane Kiffin to be my OC. So Florida's been behind every football decisions that they've made. They've been behind on.
It was the Gator Collective.
The Gator Collective, yeah. Thank you. And so now if you're Scott Strickland, and again, you've got 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why not pursue it and talk to people and see if having a GM and leading kind of that charge of we are going to have a significant figure that is going to determine compensation and is going to help us in player evaluation and is going to work in conjunction with the head coach, maybe it would make sense to explore, because that obviously you can explore. Look, there's only 32 GMs, and we know there's hundreds of capable people with backgrounds in football that would have good resumes to have that kind of a job at Florida, and they're not retaining whoever the guy is under Napier. I mean, that guy is, if he hasn't already packed his bags, he might as well. There's no chance that guy's getting retained. Yeah. And so, in looking at it, it will be interesting to see if that is something when Scott Strickland finally gets to the podium and announces whatever the new vision of Gators football looks like. If the GM is it even mentioned once in a transcript, or does it become a really big part of this hire cycle?
Yeah, and if I'm Scott Strickland, and what I hope if I'm a Gator fan, he does over the next 6 weeks is cast a wide net, not for coaches, but for feedback. Yeah. Because let's say you reach out to executive A in an NFL team and say, hey, he comes down to Gainesville, we'll talk to. He's going to watch film of the Gators. He's going to be prepared to say, okay, this is where you stink. This is where you have talent. This is where you were scheme deficient. That's the longest part of the conversation, by the way, would be the scheme part.
Sure.
Okay, now if you're Scott, you can now start the coaching part of it officially by saying, hey, this is what I've heard. What do you think of this? So I think if he does that, it's pretty smart. We make fun of the search firm because it's so easy. I mean, basically, they're looking for the skeleton in the closet.
Yeah.
So, but I still think you have people to do that at Florida.
Well, and again, you're talking about on some of these guys. I mean, maybe if you're vetting a defensive coordinator at, Georgia, maybe you need a firm to kind of go through that. For Kiffin, for Drinkwitz, for Freeman, for whoever, the top Franklin, those guys have been in the public eye for so long that obviously if there was something in there, it would have come out.
Yeah, and to me, the thing is, if Lane Kiffin is Florida's choice and he's interested, what would he want in a GM? That means he's calling the shot.
Right, because you absolutely don't want the GM to be viewed as any kind of threat if you're Florida to Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, if Lane says, well, if you hire that guy, I'm not going to come to Florida. Well, then either Strickland's going to say, okay, we got to pivot, or he's going to say, well, you weren't our guy anyways.
Yeah, so. It'll be really interesting to see. Again, I think it's more of a storyline in the years to come with college football and the role of the general manager, but don't be surprised if it becomes more prevalent in this search. It'll be fascinating to see. When we come back on the Frangie Show, I've got a question about Lane Kiffin. I can't wait to ask you guys. You're listening to 1010XL on 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Go! Your play-by-play home of Bulls Bulldogs football is 1010XL.
The 7-1 Bulldogs are fired up for senior night against the Wolfpack. Bulls Wolfson, Friday at 7 on 1010 AM.
You don't need to bet everything on a Hail Mary. Just find a ride in your budget. Because Southside Kia is now Kia on Atlantic. New name, new location, same great deals. And we have the perfect place during the Kia Fall Savings event, like a new Kia payment free for a full 90 days. Or take advantage of financing rates as low as 0%. It's always a touchdown when you shop the best deals in town. Kia on Atlantic, your coastal Kia connection.
For complete details, call 904-250-0587.
What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate to 4.99% APR? Hey, Prosser here, and right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's rapid equity loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. Paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, saved $2,100 a month. One call, life change. There's no wait, no hard credit pull. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates at a 3-year low. Act now. Call 914-999-1508 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Call 914-999-1508. See how much cash you can get today. You can also visit loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. On approved credit, visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
You already know it's your main man E to the T here for Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft. And with ball season here, make sure you're on the lookout for my instant reaction before, during, or after the game. All brought to you by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree drafts. Come on, somebody.
Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL, brought to you by San Jose Collision.
Florida Gators defeated Mississippi State 23-21 on homecoming weekend, but that was far from the biggest news out of Gainesville as the university announced Sunday that head coach Billy Napier has been fired. The Gators will now start the process of finding the football program's 30th coach in school history.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $3,600 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more value at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Cool air and clean air. Getting out from under that Florida sun and cooling off inside is where Florida Home AC shines. Think about it. You spend a lot of time indoors and air quality is crucial to your health and comfort. Pollutants like dust, pollen, germs, and allergens can build up, affecting your well-being. Florida Home is dedicated to enhancing your indoor experience with superior air quality solutions like whole home air purification systems. Find out by logging on to FloridaHomeAC.com or call 877-4300.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
It's a Big Chief Tire Friday on The Frangie Show. For all of your tires and automotive service needs, it's Big Chief Tire.
We certainly appreciate our friends at Big Chief Tire. Welcome back to The Frangie Show. Frank on vacation. He'll be back on Monday. I am Hayes Carline, along with Ryan O'Halloran. You can read Ryan's work in the Florida Times-Union at jacksonville.com. He does a great job as the columnist. JJ LaSelva is here as well. So I've got a question about Lane Kiffin in Florida, and it's again, a big reason why I feel like things are looking really well for the Gators here. I will say this. We've talked about this earlier this week. Florida does not need the LSU job to come open.
Mhm.
I do think that would muddy the picture. And I think if you're Lane Kiffin, you'd have to look really hard at the LSU job. I mean, maybe he still takes Florida, but I would think it's more 60% LSU, 40% Florida for all the advantages. You have no competition in state, and you are in a rich, fertile recruiting ground. They've got obviously NIL money. You've got the amazing stadium, the great environment. So to me, the path of resistance is less at LSU, whereas at Florida you're competing with Florida State, Miami, and a lot of other schools that have made great inroads here in recruiting. But forgetting that, let's assume LSU beats Texas A&M. We're going to do our picks in about 40 minutes, but let's assume LSU beats Texas A&M tomorrow. And that pretty much is going to solidify that Brian Kelly isn't losing his job.
Correct.
He probably isn't anyway, but if they beat Texas A&M, that probably clinches Brian Kelly returning to LSU in 26. So let's assume no other job of consequence comes open that would be above Florida. Do you really think Lane Kiffin is going to sit there and watch Eli Drinkwitz take the Florida job?
I don't think so. I don't think so. But to me, we talked about this during the break. It was my theory is, let's say Lane Kiffin stays at Ole Miss but doesn't sign a new contract. Waiting for LSU. Is there another job out there that he's waiting for? I mean,
Texas, if
maybe.
Sark struggles again next year.
So, I mean, I do think Lane Kiffin has one more move in him, and my money's still on that move being the Gainesville. But yeah, the LSU job. That would be the only competition. And if you're Florida, you are rooting for the Tigers because, Sexton could play Florida against LSU, drive up the price for the staff. So that is something to consider.
I thought it was really interesting, too. Our favorite reporter, Molly McGrath, who does just such an outstanding job. It's criminal that she doesn't already have 9
How is she
Pulitzers.
not on Monday Night Football?
How is she not on everything? But does phenomenal work. We love her. And she had a really interesting kind of report on SportsCenter today. She's going to be doing the Ole Miss Oklahoma game tomorrow. And she talked to Lane Kiffin about the Florida job, and he had a really interesting response.
Yeah, she said that Kiffin is going to address the Florida rumors with his team today. And the quote is, he's going to talk to him about it and say, hey, this is what happens when you win. This is a compliment to our players, our staff, our entire program. He wants to talk to his players about it because there's so many new guys on the team this year that haven't dealt with it before. That's Lane Kiffin for you. I mean, he's going to zig when everybody is zigging. But he knows everybody. He knows all those players have probably 2 phones at this point, and are wondering what's going to happen to their head coach. So, hey, I applaud him for doing that. Just meet it head on.
I thought it was really impressive, too, that in that meeting he handed out, Florida orientation books for the underclassmen. I thought, Lane really...
Things to do in Gainesville.
Exactly. A welcome packet for the 15 players that he is going to take with him to Gainesville. But, I can't see that, and I'm trying to look at it as objectively as I can, but I can't hear that report and not see a coach that's getting ready to leave the school. I mean, to me, that is the ultimate. I'm bringing this up because I know it's out there, and I know it's going to continue to be out there because it's a job that I want. But so we need to talk about it. We still want to have a big season. But, I mean, to me, the fact that there isn't a contract extension done when Cignetti needed literally a day and a half to get the Indiana one done, and Ole Miss would do whatever it took to keep him, he's open for business. To me, it's just a question of, is Florida the apple of his eye when we see all the jobs that are available?
Yeah, and to me, the turning point was a couple weeks ago when he took a poke at the student section.
Right.
And I mean, to me, that was a guy on his way out.
Absolutely.
And,
great point.
And then now you not only have you planned on talking to your players about a future job, you are telling a reporter that you're going to talk about him.
Right.
I mean, to me, he's telling the Florida fans, he's telling Hayes Carlyon, hang tight.
Yeah, which is great. I do. I'm going to be conflicted tomorrow because obviously I'm going to watch Ole Miss, Oklahoma, and I'm watching my guy. I'm watching Lane Kiffin, and I'm hoping to be dazzled by what I see. But you want to see like brilliant play design, but when the ball's in the air, I'm going to be like, drop it, because I need them to lose. I don't need Lane Kiffin in the playoff. I need Oklahoma to take care of business and send the Rebels to a second loss. And I think that is pretty much going to eliminate them because their non-conference is so bad that I don't think they're going to get any kind of benefit of the doubt from the committee.
Yeah, and last point for me on Kiffin was this is how different the college and the NFL is. I mean, you're a Gator fan, you admit it. You're going to have 6 weeks to sort of overthink this now.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's no – this isn't the NFL where you fire a guy the day after the season. There's posted interviews, which they have to do. It takes 2 weeks, unless you're the Jags sometimes. And all of a sudden, okay, hey, the new coach is coming in. Now you got to almost root against your choice. Make sure their season finishes early.
Right.
Make sure his team underachieves so he can come to Gainesville quicker.
It's amazing the conundrum that I find myself in, but I know I'm not
I don't think you're finding it very difficult.
I feel like it's going to end up going the way I want it to go.
Rooting against Ole Miss.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a great game. Yeah. I think Ole Miss could certainly beat Oklahoma, but yeah, that's the nature. It's what's so difficult. You want Ole Miss to look good. You want to be, particularly after watching Billy Napier's offense, you want to be like, wow, that's going to be really cool. And can you imagine Lagway and Baugh and Dallas Wilson and VB3 doing these, running these kind of things? But you need the execution to be poor. Yeah. Because you need the Sooners to win the game. But anyway, it's going to be fascinating. It's time for us to switch gears. We're going to get it to the NFL. We're going to talk some Jaguars football in our next segment, and it'll really be mostly Jaguars and NFL for the remainder of the final hour on the Frangie Show. But what I want to ask Ryan in our next segment, who ends up with the most catches for the Jaguars? Who ends up with the most sacks? Let's do a little second half prediction time, and we'll go through the schedule and predict the final record as well. Jaguars football coming up on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
You watch the games, so do we.
Dan Higgin and Jeff Prosser, right after every Gator football game, get our reaction to the plays, the calls that stood out to us.
Live streamed on the Swamp Sessions podcast on the 1010XL social channels from Voodoo Brewing Company.
Driven by Atlantic Infinity.
Northeast Florida Auto, Power Sports, and RV dealers. Tom McMahon is here for Dealer Connect. The nation's #1 AI conference for dealers is coming to Jacksonville October 29th and 30th at the Marriott Sawgrass in Ponte Vedra Beach. It's 2 days of tackling the future of AI in automotive with some of the industry's biggest names. Keynote speaker, Hall of Famer Joe Theismann will autograph items to benefit the Tom Coughlin J Fund. Get tickets now at DealerConnect2025.com. That's DealerConnect2025.com.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hayes Carline here to let you know about my new obsession, Daisy French Onion Dip. If you love eating dips with chips, wings, and veggies while watching football, you'll love new Daisy French Onion Dip and Daisy Ranch Dip. These are game changers. They're as delicious as a homemade dip made with real herbs and spices and other ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. You've got to try them. Once you do, you'll be hooked. Look for Daisy French Onion Dip at a grocery store near you.
Frank Frangie here. It's always truck season at Nimnick Chevrolet. Well, this month, you can save up to 20% off a new Silverado or get financing rates as low as 0%. Unlike most dealerships, Nimnick Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground, ready for you to explore. With their extensive selection, you're sure to find your perfect truck at Nimnick. So shop online at nimnickchevy.com or visit the dealership at Park and Cassett. Who's got more new Chevrolets at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
XL Primetime is back weekdays noon to 2, and on Wednesdays, join Dr. George Bari at 1:20 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Make sure you catch Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime Wednesdays at 1:20 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Frank Frangie here for South State Bank. South State has helped our businesses and charity grow and thrive. Whether you're expanding your operations, managing cash flow, or planning for the future, South State Bank offers forward-thinking, tailored solutions to meet your unique business needs. With expert guidance and best-in-class service, South State is here to help you move your business forward. Visit southstatebank.com or stop by your local branch today. Let South State become your partner in taking your business to the next level. That's South State Bank, member FDIC.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Frank Frangie here. Bono's Pit Barbecue has been serving up legendary barbecue on the First Coast for over 75 years. And this month only, Bono's has loaded barbecue tater tots. That smoked pulled pork on top of tater tots with melted cheddar cheese sauce. You won't find this anywhere else. And with 18 Bonos around town, there's always one nearby. You can see all the locations at bonosbarbecue.com. Remember, the loaded barbecue tater tots are served for a limited time only, so don't miss out. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Big Chief Tire makes auto care more affordable with 6-month financing through the CFNA credit card. Frank Frangie here. Plus, get $50 off your first purchase when you sign up. Whether you need new tires, brake service, or general repairs, their expert technicians have you covered. With no interest for 6 months, now's the perfect time to take care of your vehicle. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to apply today. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Hey, it's Rick Ballou. I just upgraded my home with fantastic floors, and the experience was incredible. Rusty and the team brought the showroom to me with their at-home consultation. The whole process was simple, the installation was top-notch, and the results, absolutely fantastic. Take it from me. Don't wait. Visit fanfloors.com and schedule your at-home consultation today. Fantastic Floors, where every step is fantastic.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Local sports update brought to you by Honda of the Avenues. With the Jaguars on a bye this week, let's take a look around the rest of the AFC South. The Colts lead the division at 6-1. The Jaguars are in second at 4-3. The Texans are in third at 2-4. And the Titans are in last place at 1-6. On Sunday, the Texans face the 49ers at 1. And the Colts host the Titans at 425. It's 76 degrees at 5 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
It's a Big Chief Tire Friday on The Frangie Show. For all of your tires and automotive service needs, it's Big Chief Tire.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank on vacation. He'll be back Monday. I'm Hayes Carline, along with Ryan O'Halloran and JJ LaSelva. All right, let's talk some Jaguars football. Pete Prisco coming up in about 10 minutes, so we will continue this discussion with Pete. But, Ryan, let's do some predictions. Let's start with some individual things. Who winds up with the most catches this season for the Jaguars?
I'll go to Brian Thomas.
Wow.
Because they have really nobody else to play. He has to play 65, 70% of the snaps. He has 27. He's only one behind Hunter. And here's why I say this. That was the first reason. Let's say the Jaguars decide they need to play Travis Hunter 100% of the time on defense. That is going to reduce his playing time on offense. So I'm going to go Brian Thomas because I can't count on Brenton Strange coming back even with 2 more missed games.
You think Brian Thomas Jr. gets to 1,000 yards?
I do not, because he would have to have 635 yards in his last 10 games, and he's not really making a lot of big plays.
Yeah.
So I'll say he ends up with 60 catches for 800 yards.
Who do you think will lead the Jaguars in sacks?
Well, I had looked at this all week because we're so transfixed on Josh Hines-Allen's 0.5 sacks. Eric Armstead leads the team with 3.5 sacks. That is not good.
Yeah.
It's a low number, and he's an interior player. They only have 8 as a team. I'm going to go Trayvon Walker. because teams still have a lot of respect for Hines Allen in terms of the running back could chip him or a double team, and so I think Walker will get to 8.5 sacks, and that will lead the team.
Will Cam Little still be the kicker in Week 18?
I think he will. I can't. What I'm less certain of is will he kick in all 17 games. My stance on that is documented in terms of adding competition to the practice squad, but he would really have to fall off for them to even bench him.
What kind of a second half will Trevor Lawrence have?
I think his completion percentage is going to improve. He's at 58.7 right now, which isn't very good. And I think his rating right now is 80.6. I think his rating will end the season at 92.8.
Oh, wow. So he's going to get hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Because I think he's playing some very bad defenses.
And without a doubt, and that's where we're going next. Do they beat the Raiders?
Yes, they do.
Okay. Do they win at Houston?
They do not. So they're 5-4.
Okay. Home game against the Chargers.
They do not. So they're 5-5.
All right. Then they go to Arizona on November 23rd.
That'll start a winning streak. So yes to Arizona, yes at Tennessee.
Okay. Then we finally get to the Colts. The first game is in Jacksonville on December 7th.
They'll win that, and that pushes them to 8-5.
Okay. Then they go host the Jets the following week.
9-5.
Okay. Go to Denver.
9-6. They'll lose that one.
Go to Indy.
Lose that 9-7.
And then host the Titans.
And that is a gift from the scheduling gods, and they will win that to finish 10-7.
What does a 10-7 record equal for them in your opinion?
That will equal the 6th seed in the AFC.
All right, great stuff. Love it.
Where are you going, real quick?
I largely agree. I think that they'll beat the Raiders. I kind of think they might even get to 11 wins because I think they can beat Houston. I think the Texans are going to lose to the 49ers. We'll do our picks coming up. But and at that point, if you're Houston, you're now 2-5.
Yeah.
And with the injuries they have, like that to me looks like it. I mean, they'll defensively they'll stay together and the Jaguars probably won't have a ton of success, but I could see the Jaguars sweeping the Texans this year because Houston can't score.
Yeah, and with Collins with the concussion, if they lose to San Francisco, I mean, teams never think this way, even though they should. I start throttling down on my best player who has a concussion.
Yeah.
Give it another week. There's a couple of gotta-have-its on there. That would be both Titans games,
right,
the Jet game, and the Raider game. Okay, you get those 4, now you're at 8. Now you just got to get 2 more.
That's the thing. I mean, there's no game on here that I feel like, well, they just have no chance. I mean, the Chargers here in Jacksonville, tough game, but I could see the Jaguars beating the Chargers. I mean, I don't think that's going to be a crazy line at all. Even the Colts game in Indy, again, you don't know what the Colts are going to be like when that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Colts will be playing their 6th consecutive tough game by the time they see the Jaguars for the first time in Jacksonville, and then it'll be their 9th straight tough game by the time the Jaguars go to Indy. So I guess I would say it this way. I could see a ridiculously hot second half before I could see just a disastrous second half.
Yeah, and to me, the Tennessee games are okay. I don't care what your history is. You can't lose either one of them. And by the time the Titans get down here for Week 18, they'll be packing it in and maybe sitting guys so they can sew up the number 1 pick if the Jets manage to win a game somewhere.
Yeah, without a doubt. When we come back on the Frangie Show, let's bring in Pete Prisco to talk Jaguars and all things NFL. You are listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser share the huddle with Freddie T.
Bring it in!
Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein and Robbins and Monahan Jewelers.
Fred Taylor, he's a candidate to go the distance.
On 1010XL.
This is your escape. This is your next adventure. This is Mazda, and this is Mazda at the Avenues. Lauren Brooks here. Right now, purchase any new Mazda model, and Mazda at the Avenues will match your down payment or your payments for 1 full year. Plus, every new Mazda comes with 3 years, 36,000 miles of maintenance at no additional charge to you. This is luxury, and this is the start of something new. This is Mazda at the Avenues. For complete details, call 904-430-8047.
It's your boy, Big Sirs, all-pro lineman and your lemon pepper guy. Nothing screams game day like Wingstop. But get this, every Saturday and Sunday this football season, score big with Wingstop special deals. Order a 100-piece wing pack online at wingstop.com or the Wingstop app using promo code JAX20 and get $20 off. That's right, carry out or delivery. It's your call. Use online promo code JAX20 for $20 off a 100-piece wing pack. Fire up your game day order this weekend with Wingstop.
For your chance to win tickets to see Caitlin Clark, all-time women's college point scorer and WNBA star at the Florida Forum October 29th, text FORUM to the Lifetime Flooring text line at 641-1010.
I'm Holt Harrell with Harrell & Harrell. Choosing a law firm after an accident is an important decision. So how do you decide? With so many messages on air, I know it can all sound the same. At Harrell & Harrell, we believe what sets us apart is our commitment to you. When you've been injured in an accident, you need help from someone you know, someone you can trust. Harrell & Harrell, a name you know, a name you trust. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Offices, Jacksonville.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Jacksonville is game time, and just like the Jaguars fight for every yard on the field, Duck Duck Rooter fights for every customer at home. From plumbing repairs to septic pump outs to keeping your AC cool all season long, we've got the winning playbook. Duck Duck Rooter is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars and delivers championship service every time. When plumbing, septic, or AC problems put you on defense, don't fumble the call. Dial 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter, when you're stuck, call the Duck.
Have you ever dreamed of owning a handcrafted cabin tucked into a 1,000-acre regenerative farm? Well, now you can. This is Frank Frangie for the farm in Okefenokee, just an hour north of Jacksonville in Folkston. With only 250 cabins at full build-out, it's a rare chance to live off-grid, but not alone, in a community grounded in nature, food, and purpose. The amenities include a 2,300-acre hunting lease. Learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com.
I'm with Refuse Cycles of Jacksonville, and the fall part of the year just offers so much fun, especially when you're out and about. Tell everybody what's happening with Triumph right now.
They have got a lot of new models on the road, from Scrambler 400s. They've got the legendary Rocket motorcycle. Lots of really cool bikes to choose from.
And the price point and all the tricks that come with the Triumph bike, they're all there.
They're all there. Entry level to the greatest of the great. We've got them.
Look for them online, cyclesofjacksonville.com. Check out their Facebook page or that showroom on Atlantic near Regency.
Hey, Googans, Hicken here, and I just want to once again give you this very simple reminder. Wear sunscreen. If you're outside a lot, bring the screen. Put some in your truck, on your boat, in your golf bag, whatever, wherever, just use it. Please. It's hot out there, and I just want you to protect yourself. I use it like it's cool because I think it is, but what's not cool, that's skin cancer. You don't want to deal with that. Go get yourself checked out. It could save your life. Go to beachesdermatology.com and schedule your appointment today. That's beachesdermatology.com.
Keeping kids active is a full-time job for parents, so let I-9 Sports help. They've got winter and spring registration open right now for kids all over the First Coast to enjoy their favorite sports. Log on to i9sports.com and don't miss out on the upcoming seasons. Enter 1010 in the promo code.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Time for all things Jaguars and NFL with Pete Prisco. The Prisco Report, presented by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Showtime.
On The Frangie Show.
Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles has the best in vintage cards as well as terrific autographed items. Head to Showtime at the corner of Phillips and Shad Road and find Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Pete, it's great to have you with us as always. Kind of give us a State of the Union is how you see it on Trevor Lawrence and the progress or lack thereof from what we've seen and what you've seen over these first 7 games.
Well, I said it on the show with Austin that we do in JP on Monday. I said he hadn't been good. He hadn't been bad. He's just been. and that's not good enough. When you're making that kind of money, you got to be better than that. And there's days where you look at him, you go, okay, that's it. He gets it. It's a great throw down the sideline to Brian Thomas and on the game-winning drive against the Chiefs. And then you see him pass up on opportunities. And there were a couple the other day. Opening play, everybody focused on the opening play of the game. He's got to hit Travis Hunter. He's wide open. I don't know what he's looking at. Then on the 2nd and 15 play, where after they had the holding penalty, they ran corner routes against cover 2. He could have picked either side and had an open receiver, and he didn't throw it. He tried to check it down. The ball was tipped. The next thing you know, you're in 3rd and 15. So I think he's got to, for whatever reason, he seems sped up. And the line wasn't great last week either, the last 2 weeks. But he's got to stay in there and make those throws. And you can't just, taking the check down is one thing and playing it safe is another. But you got to be willing to throw those throws. I mean, those have to be made. And I don't know, for whatever reason, he's not making them.
Hey, Pete, good to talk to you. One thing that Liam Cohen said also this week is they really want to lean into Trevor Lawrence using his legs more. Do you see a lot of things on the L-22 where he is passing up chances to scramble just for a short profit?
No, I think there's times where he scrambles where he should stay there and make the throw. But what I think Liam means by that is moving to throw. And you saw that, like last night, Justin Herbert on I think it was early in the game, flushed out of the pocket and stopped and kept his head up and threw a shot to Keenan Allen in the middle of the field for a first down. That's what I think he's talking about more than him running. Use your legs to escape that pressure, but it doesn't mean you have to run for 4 yards or 5 yards or whatever. If it's wide open, go ahead and go. But if it's not, then keep your head up, move. Get outside the pocket, even escape in the middle of the pocket, keep your head up and make a throw down the field. I think that's more what he's talking about because I think he had passed on some of those opportunities. And by the way, Herbert made a play last night where he ran out of the pocket. And if he stays there, and he really didn't have a ton of pressure, if he stays there, he's got Quentin Johnson wide open in the middle field. I know using your legs is important, and you got to do that with the way pass rushers are these days. But you have to move to throw. And I know Mahomes is running more and guys have run, Herbert's running more, and yeah, you'd like him to run more. But and when you escape, look to throw, and then if you have to go, then you go. I think that's what he's talking about.
Do you think that some of it is Trevor has been focused so much on the pre-snap stuff, which he has done a good job with, that by the time the play happens, the execution is dropping off? Have you ever seen a quarterback go through something like that? Is that maybe just the more familiar he gets in the system, the more familiar he gets with what Liam wants, the physical execution will come?
Well, I can tell you after talking to Baker Mayfield in May, we talked about Liam Cohen's offense and the system, and it's complicated. It's tough. It's hard. And you're doing a lot at the line of scrimmage. You're going to the line with 2 plays, and you got to make sure everybody's in the right spot. And he's done a pretty good job of that. Now, there are times when guys don't know how to line up, and he's got to try and, the play clock's running down. They get the play in, and he's at the line checking the things he shouldn't be checking to, just run the damn play. And I think there's some of that. But I think for the most part, there's a narrative around there that, maybe this guy doesn't put the work. That's BS. He puts the work in. He understands the offense. He gets it. But for some reason, when he's in the middle of it, things seem to short circuit at times, and I don't know why. Is it the shots he's taken over the years? But it goes back to when he's thinking. I think when he thinks a lot, it becomes a problem. When he's not thinking, when he has to go, like he did at the end of the Kansas City game, he becomes a better quarterback. So I think there are times where he's done a really good job with an offense, and he knows it, and he understands it. But the mechanics of it aren't always of a quarterback. I'm taking control. Let's go. Get in the huddle. Let's go. We're going to the line of scrimmage. Here we go. Boom. And I think that's where I think there's some short-circuiting going on with him. And by the time the play comes into when he gets to actually throwing the football.
14 sacks allowed the last 2 games. Pete, would you shake up the decks up front?
Well, I think McCary's been the problem the last couple of weeks. Big problem. And, you hear rumblings that he's banged up a little bit, and that's okay. But if you're on the field, you're accountable. And, they played a right guard for the last, 4 years that was banged up every week. And so if you're on the field, you're accountable. But he hasn't been very good. I thought, the week before, everybody was bad except for Monheim, who actually was decent when you watch the tape. He was the best lineman that day. Hainsey was better last week. I think Harrison was pretty solid last week. And Cleveland was okay. Little has his moments. He wasn't awful. The protection wasn't as bad. I think, how many sacks was it last week against the Rams?
7, wasn't
Five?
it?
Yeah, 7.
7?
Yeah.
7. I think 3 or 4 of them are on the quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, so you look at that and you go, okay, it wasn't nearly as bad as you think it was. But yeah, the line, would I shake it up? Is Milam ready to go in and play right guard? Maybe, and I don't. Hayes, he didn't get a lot of work there in the summer at right guard, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was more left guard, right tackle, right?
And he just missed a lot of camp. That's
right.
sort of the
you
other
don't know
thing.
how healthy he is.
Yeah.
You don't know how healthy he is. So
Yeah.
I don't know. What are your options? I mean, somebody threw out the other day, move Harrison to left tackle. I wouldn't do that.
No.
Move him to left tackle. I would do that. So what would you do? You're around a team. You guys are both around a team. What would you do?
I mean, I would give Milam a shot. I mean, and I agree with you, Pete. You don't move a guy, and I thought Harrison's had a decent season. You don't move him off that spot.
No,
because you're creating another problem. So
right, you don't want to. Yeah, it's like the Chargers moved Joe Alt from right tackle to left tackle because they had to.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But you weaken yourself at the right tackle position and you don't. So yeah, I'm with you. I don't think you move him. I mean, Little wasn't awful. If you go back and watch that tape, he wasn't awful last week. There are moments where he just isn't great in pass protection, and that's just kind of who he is. And so you got to kind of scheme around that. I really think a couple things are at play. They're missing Strange in the run game in a big way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that guy is a mauler in the run game, and you could see that the run game, and they weren't committed to it last week, but the run game isn't the same when he's not in there. So they got to get back to, I don't know how you figure that out, but they got to get back to running the football more.
What are your expectations for Brian Thomas Jr. coming out of the bye?
Maybe he'll get his head out of his rear end. I mean, that thing's been in there all summer. I mean, you've been around.
Oh, yeah.
I remember going there in May for minicamp, and he got dinged up the day I was there. Remember that? And I tweeted it out and got yelled at for it. And
how dare you, Pete?
There's only a crowd full of fans sitting there that were doing the same damn thing that the reporters couldn't do. Are you kidding me? But that's a whole nother aside. But then you go, in training camp, I get there and everybody's talking about how he's dropping passes. He's not running that hard. He hasn't won 50-50 balls. The coach wasn't happy with him all summer. I mean, you remember in Miami at the workout down here, he complained about it. He goes, finally, he's done something. Remember, he had a decent practice. And so from what I understand, they can't figure out what's wrong with him. And here's the other part of the equation. Maybe we just overestimated what he was as a player.
Yeah.
I mean, is that possible?
Absolutely.
Because he put up a lot of numbers in garbage time. The team wasn't very good. Nobody was looking at him as the star receiver. I mean, I'll be the first one to admit, guys. You know me, Hayes. I've been on here saying I thought that kid early in the summer. I thought he was going to go to the elite level.
I did too. I was right there with you.
Chase and Jefferson, and then he's in that next conversation.
I thought he was a
it's
star.
Not even close.
No.
And by the way, Jimmy Smith is just brutal on the kid.
Yeah, have you noticed that? He says bench everybody, Pete. Well, you got to play somebody.
I think, look, I love Jimmy, and, Jimmy's Jimmy. He was a great player. He made himself into a great player, but he needs to back off the kid. But what they need to do is go tell him, look, you were a player a year ago. Look, this is you. Go play. And I think there's, the whole idea of him being scared to go over the middle. I mean, all of a sudden you're scared to go over the middle. I don't buy that. You played football your whole life. I don't buy that. He's not a great hands catcher. That's always been a concern. But again, I think at some point you got to get it out of him. It's going to go on. There's too much talent there for it not to. But even the throw, guys, even that throw on the sideline against the Chiefs that Lawrence put in there, he double clutched that too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Switching to the league, Pete, Baltimore 1-5 hosting Chicago. If this continues to spiral for the Ravens, could there be sweeping changes?
I don't think there's going to be sweeping changes, but I don't think the GM's going anywhere. But I can tell you that the seat under Harbaugh is a little hot, and but when you're Harbaugh and you have the skin on the wall and you also have, so many injuries, tell me if they're 3-9 if Lamar's healthy, then maybe the seat's really hot. But if they're 3-9, he comes back in this week, plays, can't move, has to go back out for 3 weeks, and then they're a problem. Then I think you get a pass on it. So I think Lamar's health will dictate that. But I will say this: they're playing almost a must-win game this week.
Yep.
You can't go to 1-6, and I know the division's not great, but you can't go to 1-6 and hope to be a playoff team. I don't think.
Another team that's in that similar conundrum are the Houston Texans, who've won this division the last 2 years, but they face a 49ers team in Houston Sunday. How do you think that game goes? And if Houston loses it, are they done?
Well, I actually think they're going to win that game. I think it's one of those situations where a team comes off a game and they're not playing that well. They didn't play very well. And then you have the other team coming off a big win, Sunday night against a supposedly good Falcons team, and now you're out on the road with Mac Jones. And so I think that defense is going to do something. The Texans aren't very good, though, because the offensive line stinks. I mean, it's awful. And this is a team that has changed the whole thing. They changed it. Remember, Cam Robinson, nope, Ursary in. And then, they didn't want Tunsil, got rid of him. All the interior guys, all new, go get rid of them. And they still stink. And if your quarterback is struggling because the offensive line stinks, and they're not exactly loaded up with weapons either. So the offense is a problem. It's too bad, too, because that defense is really good.
Aaron Rodgers faces Packers for the first time on Sunday night. When you look at the Steelers tape, how is he playing?
He's playing really good. The problem is the 140-year-olds they have on defense aren't playing that well. I mean, you watch that defense, they look old. And they are old, by the way. Cam Hayward's old. T.J. Watt is old. You look at the secondary. Ramsey's old. Slay's old. Older. I mean, Ramsey's not old, but he's older. Chuck Clark's old. Elliott's old. I mean, you got guys, Juan Thornhill, you got guys back there that are old, and they show up. They play slow. And so I think that's the concern. Rodgers has been good. Rodgers, in fact, has been really good. But people don't realize Rodgers was good the last 6 games of the year last year. He can still play. He can still, throw it around. It's that defense. I'm worried about that defense.
Pete, we'll get you out on this one. Give us a prediction for how the Jaguars will fare for the rest of the season. How many wins do you think they end up with?
I still think they'll push for the division. I mean, I'm cautious on the Colts. The other day I actually ate paper with hot sauce on it because I ate my words about him, and I did that on the show. But don't you think Daniel Jones at some point is going to have a couple Daniel Jones games?
I just think the schedule. I think the Kansas City Chiefs, with these 9 games that the Colts have left, could go 5-4. I mean, they play 9 brutal games.
Yeah.
After they get beyond this Sunday against the Titans.
Right. This Sunday they'll still be feeling good after playing the Titans, but then the schedule does get brutal, and they're not winning in Jacksonville. They never do. No matter how good they are, they never win in Jacksonville. So, I still think Jacksonville can push them in the division. Look, the Raiders coming off a bye, you can't lose that game.
Yep.
And I said this the other day. This is the most important 2-week span of Liam Cohn's early tenure, and I think you guys chronicled it. Ryan, you did the other day on how he's got to handle this in the team meeting and all that. I think he does a great job of that. But the next 2 weeks, you got to win this game and then get back to feeling good about yourself. Then we got Texans after that on the road. That's winnable. And then you got, is it the Chargers right after that?
Yeah. You still have Cardinals, Jets, 2 against the Titans. Yeah. I
mean, if you told this team before the season that they'd be 4-3 with wins over the 49ers on the road and the Chiefs at home, you'd say sign them up.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, that's basically what it is. One more quick thing before I get out of here. Liam Cohn was on that video that the team put out talking about how he called the wrong play on 4th and whatever from that. What was it? 4th and 7?
4th and 7.
Yeah, well, you made the wrong decision, too. You should have kicked the damn field goal.
Well, that's the thing. I think he got it backwards, Pete. The first one on 4th and 2 early in the game, he should have went for it. I think. The 4th and 7, take the points.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think you have nothing going. You got to get something to make this feel good. Take the points there. And I think he's learning from that. And I don't know if the kickers missteps influence that decision. But if your kicker can't make, it would have been, a 35-yard field goal or whatever. If he can't make that, you know what you got to do? Send that kicker packing. Because if that guy goes out and misses a couple the next game, dare I say it, I think Mr. 70-yarder might be in trouble, don't you?
It has to be. I mean, at some point, you got to be accountable. No question
And you know
about
what will happen? I'm going to predict this. If he goes out and misses a couple, they'll release him. They'll bring another guy in. That guy will kick fine. He'll go somewhere and end up being one of the better kickers in the league. You see it happen all the time.
It would be like Jason Myers. Not that he's one of the best ones, but he's been in Seattle now for many years.
But he's a pretty good one.
Pretty good one.
He's been up there. Yeah, and that happens. I mean, you remember when the kid from, what was it, a couple years ago when the Chargers cut the kicker in the Jaguars tournament, and he was good for a while.
Yeah.
Remember? And then they
Carlson.
all go up, they all go down, they all go up, they all go down. That's the life of a kicker. It's why special teams stink.
Good stuff. Pete, we certainly appreciate it. We'll look forward to catching up with you next Friday.
All right, guys, take care.
Thanks, Pete.
All right. Great stuff from Pete Prisco. We always enjoy it, and we appreciate our friends at Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles for sponsoring Pete's segment with us. When we come back on The Frangie Show, it's time to do some picks. You are listening to 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Some people call it X. What? Some still call it Twitter. Okay, I got it. Whatever you call it, it's the best place for up-to-the-minute Jags coverage from 1010XL.
Hi, folks. Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting. Big number one Duval Ford is trusted by Duval families, Duval businesses, and law enforcement across Florida. We're Jacksonville's largest Ford dealer by new Ford sales with the biggest service facility to keep everything in your driveway and in your fleet on the road. Shop Big Number One Duval Ford on Cassett Avenue for our low prices and nationally recognized service-first experience. Big Number One Duval Ford, proudly serving North Florida since 1916.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, is now available at the Fresh Market Spirits and Wine. The Fresh Market Spirits and Wine is a new adult beverage store offering spirits, wine, beer, and accessories at A1A North in Ponte Vedra, a first-of-its-kind destination for thoughtfully curated spirits, wine, and beer as only the Fresh Market can. And now, you can get Brackish Vodka at the Fresh Market. Brackish Vodka, for whatever your sport is. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida, and don't let the state decide your fate.
Looking for your new favorite hangout this football season? Try Voodoo Brewing Company in the heart of San Marco. Locally owned and community-focused, Voodoo Brewing serves up award-winning beers, scratch-made upscale pub fare, and laid-back vibes where everyone's welcome. For live music, trivia nights, and all the football action this season, make Voodoo Brewing Company Jacksonville your new favorite spot on San Marco Square.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just the job, but an experience, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
1010XL is your home for Florida Gators football. Protected by the law firm of Farah and Farah, Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville, and Renewal by Anderson, custom windows and doors. Follow every Gators game on 1010XL.
San Jose Collision is hiring for an automotive detailer and porter. If you're detail-oriented, dependable, and love working with cars, apply in person at San Jose Collision in Mandarin. Valid driver's license required.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
We've had a fun Frangie show on a Friday here. We have talked about the Chargers killing the Vikings, Carson Wentz getting destroyed in that game. We talked about the Giants getting fined $200,000 for the Jackson Dart concussion fiasco. We speculated about the college football coaching carousel, and we talked to Pete Prisco about the Jags and all things NFL. So it has been a fun Frangie show, but we're not done because it's time for the picks. JJ LaSelva, fire us up.
Time for the Frangie Show Picks of the Week. Brought to you by Ricketts Electric, Jacksonville's power connection. The Ricketts Picks start now.
A big one in Norman, Oklahoma, as we start things off. Again, Ryan will be picking for Frank. If he does well, the games do not count. If he does poorly, the games count triple. We will start Ole Miss at Oklahoma. JJ LaSelva, kick us off. Who do you like?
I was very confused to see the point spread was so much. I think it's like 4.5, 5.
I was surprised by that too. Oklahoma is like 5.5 point favorite.
Yeah, I guess he's healed up enough, but I'm going with Ole Miss, man. I think Ole Miss wins on the road.
All right, Ryan O'Halloran, who do you like?
By the way, I don't do a good Frank imitation. I do a very good Gene.
Yeah, well, just do Gene then.
Yeah.
I really like the Sooners. And here's why I like the Sooners. They are second nationally in defense, 9.4 points a game. More importantly, third against the run defensively. I go with the Sooners at home.
Has Kiffin told the Vegas boys he's taking the Florida job? I mean, is that why the line is 5.5 for the Sooners? Because I don't get it either. I'm taking Ole Miss.
Maybe Chauncey Billups told them.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get it to Missouri at Vanderbilt. I will go first on this one. I'm sorry. Vanderbilt's been in these picks like 4 times, and I haven't picked with them. I just can't do it. I'm rooting for them. I hope Vanderbilt beats Missouri. They're a great story. I hope Vanderbilt wins the national championship, but I'm taking Missouri. Ryan O'Halloran, who do you like?
I'm going to go with Vanderbilt. I mean, hit the over like you're Terry Rozier in this one. These are the 8th and 12th ranked scoring teams, 39 and 41.4, and it's going to be a shootout. I go Vanderbilt at home to keep their Cinderella season alive.
JJ, who do you like?
I think Mizzou's going to – I feel like every time I'm watching Vandy, it's 3rd and 6, and Diego Pavia is running for a first down. That's just like their entire offense. It has to end, right? I'm taking Mizzou.
All right, very good. Let's get it to the third big SEC game of the weekend. Texas A&M at LSU. Ryan O'Halloran starts us off.
I mean, you look at Texas A&M's schedule. These was one of the 3 games they play. 20th ranked LSU, 15th ranked Missouri, 22nd ranked Texas. They don't see Alabama. They don't see Georgia in the regular season. But LSU, despite being terrible on offense this year, they're going to beat the Aggies in Death Valley.
I like it. How about that? I am going to take Texas A&M here. To be honest, they've been one of the most complete teams that I've seen all year. Miami is up there as well. I know they were disappointing a week ago tonight, but Texas A&M to me does everything you have to. They have great quarterback play. They can run the ball. Their pass rush is exceptional. LSU's beaten up. It's obviously a tough venue, but I will take the Aggies on the road. JJ, who you got?
Yeah, the LSU run game and just offense in general has been so crappy this year. I'm going with Texas A&M. I don't feel confident about it. I think that the home team has won basically like every game between these two, but I'm going against that. I'm going with the road team, Texas A&M. And Brian Kelly, you're in trouble.
It was hard finding a 4th game, so we went into Big 12 territory here for this one. BYU at Iowa State. Smaller game, but I know you've been following it. I will start this one off. I'll just take Iowa State because they're at home. Ryan O'Halloran.
I'm going to go with BYU. They right now, they top the Big 12, but in the next 4 weeks, they're at Iowa State, at number 14 Texas Tech, at number 21 Cincinnati. How can you root against a guy named Bear Bachmeier who wears number 47 at quarterback? Cougars, the Mormons win it.
All right, JJ LaSelva.
I'm going with Iowa State. I just think BYU came off that huge win last week, so maybe a letdown game here.
All right, let's get it to the NFL. We are going to start in Baltimore, where the Ravens are in a do-or-die situation. Chicago at Baltimore. JJ LaSelva, lead us off.
To me, this is like the game of the week because of what it means for the Ravens and the Bears. I mean, the Bears are on a 4-game win streak. I like the Ravens, though. I think Lamar Jackson comes back. I like him to win. I like him to win big and cover the 6.5.
I will take the Ravens as well. Roquan Smith is back. They've got more than even Lamar. They've got a couple other guys on that defensive side that I think are finally healthy, and I think the Ravens have too much pride to get to 1-6, so I will take Baltimore. Ryan O'Halloran.
I'm going to go with the Bears on the road because I like Ben Johnson calling plays against a truly terrible Baltimore defense. They put a figurative nail in the Ravens season.
All right. How about that? Ryan O'Halloran, you are back on the clock. San Francisco goes to Houston. Who do you like?
San Francisco is a 1.5-point road underdog. I like Mac Jones because Houston's going to be no Collins with a concussion. Kirk's still out. And here's the thing. They had a late West Coast game on a short week. I like the Niners to go on the road and win.
All right. I will take the Niners as well. I think if they can score 17 points, they're going to win the game. And I know the 49ers don't have Fred Warner and they don't have Bosa. I get that. But I just think Houston is broken on offense. So I think Kyle Shanahan, I trust him to get to 17 more than I trust what Houston has. JJ, how do you see it?
Yeah, I like the Niners. Like you said, if they can just score a few touchdowns, it's over. But quick fun fact, I think McCaffrey is on pace for 1,000 receiving yards.
That's amazing.
As well as rushing yards.
It's amazing that he's the only one that really has been healthy. Every other,
ironically,
impactful player for them has been hurt for some length of time. Let's get it to Dallas at Denver. I'm going to pick the upset here. I'm going to take the Cowboys, high-powered offense against a great defense in Mile High, but I just think that it's going to be one of these wacky games. So I will take Dallas in a thriller. JJ LaSelva, who you got?
Yeah, I think the football gods are going to even things out for the Broncos after winning that game last week, and I think they lose this weekend to Dallas.
All right, Ryan O'Halloran.
I'll try to pick up a game here for Frank. The Broncos, I'll go with the home team. This is at 51.5. This is the highest over-under of Week 8. I expect a lot of points, and I also expect Brandon Aubrey to set the field goal record kicking at altitude.
Yep, absolutely.
That guy is a freak, man.
Oh, he's unbelievable. And we will get you guys out on this one. Sunday Night Football, Green Bay at Pittsburgh. Ryan O'Halloran, who do you like?
I like Pittsburgh. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to become the 5th quarterback to beat all the 32 teams. And this also has a lot to do with the Packers. I've been really underwhelmed by them. I go with the Steelers at home to win.
All right, JJ LaSelva.
Yeah, the Packers, even though they've been winning these games, they've looked like crap or tying these games. So I'm going with the Steelers in this one.
All right, I will take the Packers. I like I think the Packers defensively, to me, have not been overly impressive. And what did I say? I'm going to take Green Bay here. So I think Green Bay. Excuse me. Let me reverse that. The Steelers. I agree with Pete. I watched in Cincinnati and Joe Flacco just dissect them the other day. It's hard for me to get that out of my head. I think Romeo Doubs scores a touchdown. I think Jordan Love plays well. So I will take Green Bay on the road against Pittsburgh. So those are our picks. Ryan O'Halloran, you have a ton of game picker-uppers here. So in Ole Miss at Oklahoma, JJ and I like the Rebels on the road. You like the Sooners at home. Missouri, Vandy. Ryan likes the Commodores at home. JJ and I like Missouri on the road. Texas A&M at LSU. Ryan's taking the home team. He likes the Tigers. JJ and I like the Aggies. BYU at Iowa State. I know a game that you can't wait to kick off. Ryan likes the Cougars on the road. JJ and I are going with Iowa State. At the NFL level, Chicago at Baltimore. Ryan likes the Bears. He's on an island again. JJ and I like the Ravens. We all like the 49ers to win at Houston. Dallas at Denver. Ryan likes the Broncos to defend their home turf. JJ and I like the Cowboys in an upset. I like the Packers to win in Pittsburgh. Ryan and JJ like the Steelers.
Frank?
Yep.
Either congratulations or I'm sorry.
I know. I think, look, you've got a potential for a huge week. So it's great stuff. When we come back, we'll wrap up the Frangie Show, get you ready for college kickoff with R.J. Saunders. There's a Josh Hines-Allen thought I want to get from Ryan as we wrap up. And we've got a World Series starting tonight. JJ and Ryan will give us our thoughts on that. You're listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
NASCAR racing at Martinsville Sunday, the Xfinity 500, and it's the final race of round 3 of the playoffs, which means at the race's conclusion, we will know the final 4 for the championship showdown at Phoenix. 2 drivers are safe to the finale, Denny Hamlin and Chase Briscoe. Ryan Blaney, the betting favorite to take the checkered flag at Martinsville, plus 350. Hamlin, plus 500. Chase Elliott, plus 600. Christopher Bell, who won at Martinsville in the spring, at plus 700. Kyle Larson, also plus 700. Joey Logano and William Byron are both plus 900 to win at the short track.
Progressive helping veterans drive their lives forward. More info, keysofprogress.com.
I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Hey friends, Frank Frangie here. You know me. I don't mess around when it comes to taking care of business. Well, if your plumbing or AC company is giving you excuses, it's time to make a trade. Call the pros at Duck Duck Rooter. They're the trusted partner for some of the biggest commercial names in Northeast Florida. Their office team keeps billing smooth, and their field techs show up ready to fix the problem fast and right. Bring in the starters with Duck Duck Rooter, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Call 904-862-6769. 904-862-6769. Tell them Frank sent you.
This is Hayes Carline for Atlantic Infinity. If you're shopping for a new ride, you've got to check out Atlantic Infinity. Not only do you get a luxury vehicle, you also get the Atlantic Infinity Promise, free with every new car. That's almost $2,500 in added value just for buying smarter, and you don't have to sweat it out on the lot. Shop in their indoor, climate-controlled showroom. It's cool, comfortable, and hassle-free. They're on Atlantic near St. John's Bluff, or browse anytime at AtlanticInfinity.com.
It's the fall savings event going on now at Renewal by Anderson. Upgrading your home has never been easier. Get 20% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. This offer expires October 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Frank Frangie here. I've been battling all year to get my lawn lush green. You know the struggle. Well, I finally made the call and got it top-dressed. Topdressing.com came out with their special equipment. Holy cow, what a setup they've got. And they're absolutely meticulous. Top dressing lawns is all they do, and it takes one day. Heck, if you're a landscaper, call them for your clients that need professional top dressing. Call 888-850-1850. I did it, and you can too. Get your lawn top dressed like a pro with topdressing.com.
This football season, Hurricane Grill and Wings is your game day getaway. Catch every play with the perfect drink in hand. Handcrafted cocktails like the Millionaire Margarita, Spicy Guavarita, Old Fashioned, or the Red Bullerita. Beer more your style to watch the games? Enjoy an ice cold Bud Light. Game day cocktails and Bud Light specials are here all season long at Hurricane Grill and Wings. Find a restaurant near you at hurricanewings.com.
Find out what new golf equipment could help your game.
Well, I'm just a humble golf pro. Could I help you?
Get great golf tips and talk from the experts on the Edwin Watts Golf Hour.
Got to figure out why I'm still shaking the ball.
Saturday morning at 10 on 1010XL.
Celebrating 30 years in Jax Beach. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn is your go-to for cash on the spot. They buy gold. Huge sale on firearms all month. Save during Florida's Second Amendment sales tax holiday with no sales tax on firearms. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
If you've been in a big truck accident, you need a lawyer that specializes in big trucks. A lawyer who knows all the federal traffic rules that can affect your case.
And who can navigate the complex web of laws dealing with the trucking company, the leasing company, the shipper, and all the other details that can complicate your case.
At Farah & Farah, we've seen it all, and we're ready to go the long haul to fight for you. Jacksonville.
Julington Creek Pest Control has been serving our community since 1984. Our turf management program is an all-out blitz granular fertilization, weed and insect control, keeping your lawn championship green all year. Quarterly pest control stops bugs before they ever cross your goal line. Family owned, locally operated, expert technicians, top quality products, no gimmicks, just winning results. Julington Creek Pest Control, our family serving yours since 1984.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
It's a Big Chief Tire Friday on The Frangie Show. For all of your tires and automotive service needs, it's Big Chief Tire.
It's been a great week. I have really enjoyed this. I have really enjoyed it. Hope you have had a good time as well, but it's been fantastic having you in, and you've done an amazing job.
Well, I appreciate it, Frank. Why did I say that? I said filling in for Frank.
Yeah.
Appreciated Hayes and JJ. But yeah, it was good. And what you realize is how fast the 2 hours go.
Oh, it's incredible.
when you are like, I mean, we were lucky this week.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff to talk about.
Yeah, it was awesome, and the guests were cool. So yeah, so had a blast, and do it again.
Tell us what's coming up in Jacksonville.com from the pen of Ryan O'Halloran.
Yeah, we got a busy week coming up. Tomorrow I lead my notes column with the NBA FBI debacle, include the NCAA in there. Sunday I have a Florida Georgia column on interim coaches, and then Monday, just to tee up on this, or Tuesday, I may dig into Josh Hines Allen a little bit. 0.5 sacks through 7 games, by far the slowest start of his career through 7. And what maybe are some options for the Jaguars to get him going?
Yeah, this is a stunning stat to me because Josh Hines Allen, we all know what a great player he is. There are 251 players currently in the league that have at least 1 sack this season. Josh Hines Allen has a half a sack. 251 players in the NFL have more sacks than Josh Hines Allen. I don't think that'll hold, but I can't wait to your column that breaks it down in terms of what they're doing and some suggestions on how they can improve it. We've got a World Series starting tonight. JJ, give us your breakdown. How do you think it goes? I'm
really excited. I hope I'm wrong. I think it'll probably be like 5 games for the Dodgers. But if it goes 6, I'll be really excited. I'm hoping Toronto, even though I just made a bet today on the Dodgers to win Game 1, I hope that Toronto wins Game 1 because that always makes the series a lot more interesting, like we had with the NBA last year when Oklahoma City lost Game 1. But Blake Snell's on the mound tonight, and honestly, he's given up nothing in the play. I think he's maybe given up 1 run in the playoffs so far, so it's going to be really tough sledding for Toronto tonight.
Yeah, I think we'll find out pretty quickly if the Blue Jays are in happy to be there mode.
Yeah, exactly. Won the pennant.
That was a tough series. They used a lot of their pitching. I think tonight's critical for the Blue Jays. If they lose tonight, that means they've lost the game without facing Ohtani yet. It could be a quick series if the Dodgers win tonight.
I think the series will do well ratings-wise, and it seems like MLB, the ratings have been good all year. Do you expect that this will draw big numbers, JJ?
Yeah, probably. Not like last year. I mean, with the Yankees and the Dodgers in it, nothing's going to touch that. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by the attendance and the ratings numbers from MLB this season after years and years of just like, oh my God, this sport's dying. What are we going to do? That talk gets really old as a baseball fan. So yeah, I'm looking forward to anytime the Dodgers are in there. There's a very high floor. For the ratings.
Ryan, what do you think in terms of who wins and how many games?
I'm going to go Dodgers in 6. So I think the Blue Jays get it back to Toronto, create some drama that way. But what's going to be the real great TV number is the rating in Canada. I mean, it could be a 40% of the country watching. So,
oh my God.
We're reaching because they are the national team of that country. So, I think if you combine the two countries, the MLB will be pretty happy with the ratings.
You guys like Ohtani real quick to win MVP?
Yeah.
Ohtani?
Yes.
Ohtani? All right, great stuff. This has been so much fun. Really appreciate you sitting in all week with us. We had a wonderful time. For Ryan O'Halloran, for the vacationing Frangie, for JJ LaSelva, I am Hayes Carlyon. That's going to do it for us, but stay tuned. The college kickoff with RJ Saunders is up next. You're listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM. Have a wonderful weekend.